welcome back. Thanks for being here, and just gonna dive right in. So today I'm going to just take you through how I pretty much start any flower that I'm not kind of used to drawing. So I'll take you through the inspiration, where I go to find my references. We won't be going outside because it's just going to be an indoor kind of tutorial, so we're going to use the computer. But I do recommend going to find your flowers outside, go to a flower shop, anything like that. We're in the middle of a lockdown, so we'll be staying indoors. That's fun. So yeah, I'm just going to take you through that and how to break down an image and a reference to find shapes and angles to draw your flowers. I've decided to take you down the road of daisies because they're pretty simple and easy to draw, not very complicated, and their petals are cute. So yeah, let's dive right in. Alright, hi guys. So before I started this video, I just went onto my computer and I typed in daisies into Google, looked at images. When I'm looking for images, I really like to go for a range of kind of different images. I don't like to just stick to one image or point of view. I like to get different angles, because when you're drawing, rarely are you actually looking at a flower in real life straight on, even though that's how we draw them quite often. But it's nice if you're going to do a composition to have a range of different angles and perspectives. It just gives some variety, and it makes it more interesting, and will allow you to move the eye. So as you can see, this one is of a daisy from behind. This one's on a slight angle. These are cute little daisies. I thought their petals were really cute, and they're really little. And then this is just a range of different types of daisies. So that's fun. And I do like to get one that's pretty large, so I can just break down these shapes a bit more. And I always go and have a look at their leaves as individual elements. There are lots of different types of daisies, and they all have different kind of leaves. But for the sake of this exercise, we're just going to stick to something pretty simple. You're welcome to do more research if you want to. So for what you'll need for this class, pencil. I'm using a 5B, but that's just because I don't want to use anything too light, just in case it doesn't show up on the camera. So anything from 2B, B, something that's easy and soft to rub out is usually the way to go. I have a soft razor here. This is one that I bought online from Amazon. It came with some pens, which is odd. And we'll just be using pen and ink to do the final image. I love the micron pen. I love Pigment Micron. I've used different kinds of pens. Like I've got here, I've got the uni pen. I even have gone through the Copic marker line. These are good because you can actually change the nibs. But they do get damaged easily. I do find that the nibs do need to be changed a bit more, and I just find these give a really nice dark line. They've got a really nice pigment, and they are waterproof, so if I wanted to go over it in watercolor, they wouldn't leak, neither would the other ones. But I just find these have a really long life. And I mean, the nibs will get damaged eventually, but I find these ones just last much longer than the other fine liners. So that's my pick. Yeah. So that's all I'll be using today. So, and a sharpener if I need to sharpen my pencil, which I probably should actually sharpen my pencil. Just a bit. So let's have a look at these images. I'm just gonna break them down a bit. So when I'm looking at these petals, I'm looking for shapes. And obviously we've got a round one. And these petals are like, yeah, oval. And they're really petite and small. And see how they're overlapping as well. So just be conscious of that. And if you take a closer look, you will actually see that the petals are all like slightly different shape. So I wouldn't get too caught up in trying to replicate the same petal over and over. It gives really beautiful variety to see a range of different shapes and sizes. And depending on the perspective that you are looking at your flower. See now this circle, this center is oval. So when we, and then as you can see, the distance between the back is longer than the distance between the front. So these are things we just want to look out for and keep in mind when we are drawing. That's all right, I will go through how I put it all together. So if I'm observing from this flower here, I'm going to be drawing an oval in the center. And as a guide, I will actually draw a larger circle around it. And this will be like my what I call like a little binding box for the petals. So when I draw a petal, it's only going to come to the edges. And that will just help with your perspective. And sometimes, I mean, you can count the petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's about 22, 23 petals there. I'm an odd number girl. I'll always go for an odd number. I just think, yeah, I think odd numbers work really nicely together. So like 3s, 5s, 7s, they're all really kind of good. So as you can see, the center here is just a little bit dipped. So it'll, when we go into drawing detail, I would put a lot more detail here and spread it out a bit to get that range in value. So I'm just going to start with this petal here, and I'm going to bring it up to the top of my binding box and bring it down. And then this one, it's really hard to tell because it's white. I probably should have picked a different, but this is on top. So I'm just going to move over a bit and go up to my binding box and do another petal. And then as you can see, this one here is behind, so I'm just going to put that in. And it doesn't quite reach the same height. I got to make sure that I'm in frame. It doesn't reach the same height as the other two petals, so I'm actually just going to come, and there's a bit of a dip. So at the top of these petals, there's a little bit of a dip. You can put that in if you want. You don't have to. Now here I'm seeing a little bit of space, so I will leave that space. Now when I'm drawing it, I don't worry too much about being exact. I'm just getting like a feel for the piece. This is just like a guide on how I draw my flowers. There's no right or wrong way of doing it really. It's just observation. Just observe what you see. And art is all about interpreting what you see. Everyone's eye is different. Everyone's eye will pick things up differently. So that's how I would do that. Now I'll just rub out the binding box so you can have a look at what it looks like without it. And that's essentially, I think I want to fix this up. I just want to bring it a little, I think it's too fat for this, but it's alright. Yeah, cool. You happy with that? And yeah, I can show you how I would go about doing one from behind. So as you can see, the stem is coming out first. So let's draw the stem, and there's a bit of a curve at the top, and then we come in here. Now my first box will come around like that, probably a little bit higher at the top, and then these, just make sure I'm in frame. These petals here are quite short, whereas these are longer. So this circle will come around here and probably come up around here. Yep. And then I'm just gonna start layering my petals. As you can see, there are many layers on the petal. So I'm just gonna start drawing them and see how we go. My tip here is I would try not to get too caught up in like making it perfect. What I love about nature being a subject matter is that there is some form of we've got a flower from a different perspective here. So that's 2 daisies we have there, and I would just be drawing them over and over and over again, in different, front on, side on, any kind of perspective you can get, and just start with your circles, your binding boxes, and go from there. I'll take you through the leaf. So we have a pretty prickly leaf here, which is interesting and kind of fun to see. So this is how I generally draw leaves, is I will start off with the center. Whether that leaf is straight or like front on or side on, that's how I get my guide. So for example, this is my straight leaf, and I just kind of rough it up, because I mean these leaves are rough, and yeah, so I'd probably bring that in a little bit. So anything that's behind, you want to give that idea of like that it's behind, and it's usually got a shadow on it, or it's darker. So I will come in and make that a bit more prominent to tell me that that is on top, and the petal behind is behind. It's darker. Makes sense. You can go ahead and practice. yeah, there's my flower. Hope that was helpful to some of you or all of you, if you stuck around and watched the whole thing. I hope you did find it helpful. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment below and I will do my best to answer them, either personally or in another video. And if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Cool. Catch you all in the next video. See you guys.